Pat yourself on the back because you are right here, right now, for a reason. Welcome to the On Purpose podcast, where together we will empower ourselves and others to live lives with more passion and purpose.
How you doing this fine morning, Jerrod?
What up, Mr. Ali? Tank top time, huh, buddy?
Tanking it up, man. Just got done at the gym and had to tank it up.
Nice and early gym session, so that'll tie in well to this week's episode.
Yeah, nice and early swim, hot tub, and sauna. So
very cool.
Feeling nice, man. You're hoodieing it, huh? Even in the South, eh?
Yeah, I've been up for a bit, man. It was a little chilly out here. I'm at a lake in West Point Lake, Georgia. So
West Point Lake, Georgia.
So nice, dude. It's right on the Alabama-Georgia border. So yeah, it gets a little, I don't know what you call it, like dewy in the morning, just kind of like wet. Everything's wet.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it's warm enough. I could take it off right now, but I don't want to tease nobody.
How you liking West Point Lake?
Dude, it's good. It's good. We've been here 4 days now. I will tell you what, dude. These people camp way different than anybody I've ever met. Like, literally, the people next to us had 2 big screen TVs out on their picnic table. One was watching the Braves baseball and one was watching Alabama football. And it's pretty interesting because, like, a bunch of campsites did that, but all their feeds were a little delayed. So, like, I would hear one campsite start cheering like crazy. And then I would look on, because we don't have TV, so I'd look online and be like, oh, Alabama scored. And then like 2 seconds later, this campsite would cheer like crazy. And
how funny.
Dude, they literally moved their whole houses out here, like their Halloween decorations, their televisions.
It's like, what's the purpose of camping? You're going to do all that.
I don't know, dude. That's what Andrea said. She's like, it would take me weeks to set that stuff up, and a lot of them were out here for the weekend and left already, but I don't know, man.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I would have just stayed home, man. If I'm bringing my TV and decorations, I'll just stay my ass at home.
That's what I'm thinking. But they seemed to have fun. They were loud, partying, having a good time. So I guess is what they do.
There you go.
But yeah, it's nice, man. We got out paddle boarding, got to sneak up on some turtles. The South is no joke, dude. I didn't realize how beautiful like Tennessee and Georgia are.
Yeah. Yeah, right? There's so much beauty everywhere.
Yeah.
We just got to take the time to go see it.
Yeah, you got to get up early to go see it. A lot of the beauty's early in the morning, Ollie. What do you think about that? I
think you're exactly right, and I think that ties in to today's episode 136, How to Wake Up on Fire. So let's talk about that, Jerrod.
Yeah.
Why do you think
you need to start that off? Because your ass wakes up on fire. You definitely seem to have good morning energy.
Well, I do, but I have to do some things to make sure that happens. So before we talk about that, I'm curious, because I was just at the gym, right?
Yeah.
Early morning at the gym. And even some people there to where like they have to have that self-discipline. They have to wake up somewhat on fire, right, to be at the gym. I feel like it's kind of culture. The 2 men that I talked to, I was like, hey, good morning. How are you? And the first guy was like, oh, I'm getting there, or like something like that. And then the second guy was kind of a similar answer, like, oh, I'm getting going, and I think that generally in the morning, we have this culture of like, oh, like I'm so tired, or, oh, I need my coffee. And a lot of us have that snooze mentality. So why do you think that that's more of a natural thing that we sometimes just want to wake up, hit snooze, and not get up and attack the day? Why do you think that?
I mean, I think first thing that comes to mind is 2 reasons. One, it's easy. Right? It's easy to hit snooze and not go start getting to work on whatever you're going to do for the day. And then the second one, man, I think is the dreams for a lot of people are the best part of their day because they're not living a life full of dreams. Right? So, like, to get up and face the reality of whatever your world is, the dreams were a lot nicer. So I think that weighs heavy, right? Like if you go to sleep and you have all this, you're doing all this great stuff in your dreams. Maybe you don't want to get up and face the day that you know you're not putting in the work for.
Mhm.
What do you think?
I think you're right. I think that on the mental side, that does it. But even I feel very blessed, fortunate, and grateful to be chasing a lot of my dreams. And sometimes, even though I have that mentality, I'll wake up kind of sleepy. And I've been doing some research and I have found some things that mechanically, right? Our body's a machine, mechanically cause us to feel tired if we do. So I want to kind of run through these. So one of them is engaging in intense physical activity late at night. Um, Sometimes we get those late night workouts and that can really raise our adrenaline levels, increase our heart rate, and it makes it hard for us to go to sleep. And that's something that um, I want to urge our community to just kind of take note of, right? If you're going to get a workout in the evening, try to make it the lighter workout. I know sometimes, like for example, at trials, we had Tuesday and Thursday night um, team practice, right? Late. Some nights you're just going to have to deal with that, but that's one thing.
Yeah, but see, that also ties into people that work shifts, right? Shift work is a huge shift work. Having worked many overnight shifts and opposite your nocturnal clock, that definitely takes a toll on you as well, right? So some people may not be necessarily working out at the gym, but their shifts require them to work till 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, which throws off your cycle. So if you're in that realm, you definitely got to have a routine of like how do you set up your sleep, right? And I think a lot of times we unconsciously just think sleep's going to happen. But you work
Mhm.
shift work, you know you need blackout curtains. You probably need some sound machines because the mowers are going to be running mowing the grass and stuff during your sleep time. So it requires a routine, and I think that to me, like Andrew and I just talked about this yesterday. Even in this new life that some would say we're living a dream, right? We're traveling full time all the time. We've hit little funks, and a lot of it is because we don't have a routine. Like we don't wake up at a certain time. We don't get up and go right to motion. Um, so to me, that's the number one thing is having that routine. Like, what am I going to do as soon as I wake up?
100%. Yeah. That consistency, going to bed around the same time and waking up at the same time. That's another thing here that I have on my notes. Few other reasons why we sometimes wake up tired in the morning wanting to hit snooze. And I can attest for all of these because this happens to me when I do this. Heavy meals before bed, alcohol before bed, caffeine late afternoon or in the evening, and smoking as well. So any of those are definitely gonna disrupt your sleep.
Dude, I
So
tell you
stay.
what though, I like at trials, dude, I would smash coffee till like 7:30 at night
Uh-huh.
and sleep like a baby.
Yeah, I mean, it can happen, but I bet you if you consistently did that and got into the routine of doing that, you would
Maybe,
have a hard time.
maybe. I don't know. I think it all. Yeah, it's all different, but um, yeah, that's interesting. And partying, dude. You know how like even you stay out super late one night partying, that throws off your whole next day. It
Hmm.
didn't used to when you were young, but it'll catch up to you someday, Ollie. You get to my age, man. A night of partying is like a 2-day recovery now.
Dude, I already feel that, man. Every time I drink now, I'm just like, I'm never drinking again. After I drink, I'm just like, fuck this.
Yeah, because it just throws off your natural, like what you want to be doing.
Hmm.
And I think that for Andrew and I is one of the big things. And you mentioned something too is the timing. Like I was just telling you, dude. Like I sent you the wrong time for an appointment because I'm still getting used to being 2 hours ahead all the time. So my body's
Yeah.
adjusting. Like it's 9 o'clock, but it feels like it's still 6, 7 o'clock to me. Um,
Yeah.
which just throws off our consistency, right? Like we're not doing anything that we used to do.
100%. And before we move on to waking up on fire stuff, I got one more thing that people don't always talk about. Why do we sometimes wake up tired, wanting to hit snooze? And this is for our men out there. I got this specifically from a sexual energy book by Montauk Chia, and that is ejaculation. So if you ejaculate at night, the next morning, you are going to be more tired. So that's something to where you're going to want to, especially depending on age. That's a great book, by the way. It's by Montauk Chia, Masculine Sexual Energy. The title's something like that. But it talks about how the older you get, you're going to want to preserve that life force energy. So that's also something to think about. You don't want to just be ejaculating every night, guys. So make sure to limit that, because that will affect your sleep as well.
I don't know about that one either, dude. I feel like you sleep like a baby after that.
Yeah, you'll sleep like a baby, but you're gonna wake up tired, man. You're gonna wake up tired.
All right, I'm about
the French.
Go ahead.
The French people actually call ejaculation un petit mot, which means a little death, because after you ejaculate, you're just dead and go to sleep.
All right, well, that's good. I don't think people tuned in for the sexual health episode, but I'm glad we're giving them a little bonus stuff right there.
Little bonus tip there, man. You know, we got to cover it all.
That is the truth. Yeah, that's good to know.
So now let's move on, Jerrod, to why do we sometimes wake up excited about life, man? Because sometimes there's just these days where you wake up and you are just ready to attack the day. You wake up on the right side of the bed. You're feeling great. You're feeling good. And you want to try and have more of those mornings. So why do you think we sometimes wake up excited about life?
I think we have purpose, right? Like usually the days you wake up excited, you know you have something to do. Or something big coming up. You know what I mean? Like there's something there. I think the days we dread is when we wake up with no plan for the day. Which is why, like we've talked about this in other episodes, kind of journaling and stuff. Like I love to right before bed, like just mentally think of all the stuff I accomplished today and what kind of opportunities that leads to tomorrow. Not necessarily like all the stuff I have to do, but all the things I get to do because of my success today.
Yep. 100%, man. That's at the top of my list. So yeah, purpose overall. And I think having that first thing in the morning commitment, whether that's a Zoom call in the mastermind group, right? How we really got to connect before the On Purpose podcast. What time were you holding those? Like 5:30?
5:30 or 6, yeah. You guys had to be gangsters early to come to that.
And I remember I would wake up excited, man, when you were hosting those for about 2 months or whatever it was. I would wake up excited, waking up excited to go to 6 a.m. Breakfast Club practice, right? I have a commitment. And usually you're going to wake up more excited when your commitment involves other people. Like all last week, I did 4:45 a.m. wake ups, and my goal was to get to the gym by 5, but I was moving slow, right? Sometimes I wouldn't get there until 5:30, 5:20. But I made that commitment still, and I was still getting up early. But when you have a commitment, early morning commitment with somebody else, it's going to be that much stronger, because most of us will always do more for others than we will do for ourselves. So the purpose and early morning commitment. What else you got on that?
Well, I just think, but I don't think, I like, we both kind of know before we go to bed tonight what the morning routine looks like. Right. And I think for a lot of people that are just struggling maybe with getting a routine in any aspect of life, but especially the morning, you got to have it planned out. So that means like know what time your alarm's going off, what time you're getting up, whether you're going to make coffee first thing and journal, or do you get up and go straight to the gym? Do you just go for a walk around the neighborhood? And for me, I like to get up, I journal, make some coffee, and then I like to take that first cup of coffee and just go on a walk and just get my body moving like right away and just see the sun coming up and see whatever beauty's around us. I don't necessarily get up and go right to email. I don't like to get up and go right to social media. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes like you got to take that little time to frame yourself and get yourself ready to go for the day.
100%.
You know, I think one of the worst things you can do is get up and go right to social media and see how many likes you got or see how many
Mm-hmm.
comments happened.
Yeah.
Because now you're letting the tone of your day be set by somebody else that may or may not be reflective of what you wanted to do. And I think that's one of the things we should really tell people is like having a routine is like a map for how your day goes. When you just wake up willy-nilly and just accept whatever the world gets to you, you don't know where that journey is going to take you. You're literally depending upon everything else in the world to line up right for you to have a good day.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And you don't have good days by chance. Good days are by choice, right? Like each of us is going to have some bad shit happen today, some unexpected stuff we don't want to deal with, but we're going to get to because it's what we do,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like this idea, I want to have this perfect day and everything has to go right. Like that is so rare. But what's not rare is problems coming up and obstacles getting in your way. So then you choose how you respond to it. And a great way to practice respond to that is starting your day right. Beating an alarm clock, getting your ass out of bed.
Yeah. Waking up on fire. One little hack I recently learned from a program that I'm taking called the Productivity Playbook. And I've really enjoyed doing this as a nightly routine, right? Because your morning starts with how you end the evening before. Getting to bed early as you can. And in bed, I learned to visualize myself doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing the next day. And visualizing that until I go to sleep has been really effective. And then when I wake up, I already did the play by play in my head, right? So right now I have a sprained ankle. So my morning routine is a little bit different. I'm waking up. I like to hit a glass of water with some lemon and cayenne pepper, kind of gets that fire going right away. Then I'll have my coffee. Then I'm hitting the gym for a swim since I got the sprained ankle going, coming back. And right now, right after the gym was the podcast this morning. Other mornings is uh, some yoga and meditation. I got another program that I'm doing. So, but it's all on my calendar, right? I'm living and dying by the calendar, so that's all. It's all planned out, and that's a big reason why I wake up excited about life because I have a schedule. I know what I'm supposed to be doing, where I'm supposed to be going, and I'm doing these things before that are helping with the mechanical part, right? The water with some lemon and cayenne pepper, a healthy breakfast, um, moving the body, movement, and then everything leading up to that, right? Getting good sleep, not having caffeine too late or super hard workouts too late, and waking up on fire, ready to go.
Yeah, you're just planning out. You're mapping it out. I like to think of your routine as like your roadmap for the day. Like you don't just get in your car and drive and hope you're going to end up at the grocery store. Like you know which turns you have to make. You know, at this light I turn here, at this place I go there. And you need to have that kind of routine for your day. If you're struggling, you're not finding purpose, you're just not in a good spot. To me, it starts with the morning. Like because I've been there too. With all the changes we have, we get out of routine. You just feel goofy. You feel different. And as soon as I get back to running my morning, the rest of the day goes well, right? Because you got to win that morning first to set up a good day.
So, Jerrod, what happens when we wake up wanting to hit snooze versus when we wake up on fire?
What do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think that it just because I've had mornings where I've waken up wanting to hit snooze and it's still been a good day. But I think what you do is you really increase the likelihood of you having a badass day when you wake up on fire versus when you hit snooze.
I think you're honoring yourself, right? Because think about it, the alarm didn't set itself. The alarm didn't just say, okay, Ollie, you're going to wake up at 6 tomorrow. You said that. So literally, it's like for a lot of people, setting your alarm is the last promise you make to your future self, right? Because today's self is setting the alarm for 7 o'clock. Tomorrow's self needs to honor that and get up out of bed.
I like that.
So if you break that promise by hitting snooze and sleeping past it, you lied to yourself, right? You just let yesterday's self down.
You're starting off with low integrity.
To yourself. Right? And now it becomes a little easier, right? Like, oh, okay, I already slept in. Maybe I don't eat the healthy breakfast. Maybe I don't go for my walk. Maybe right? Because your first action of the day is breaking a promise to yourself. So what does that do to your psyche? Right? Like if I'm going to break promises to myself, then I don't have to show up for you necessarily, Ali. Maybe I'm supposed to be here at 9, but I'll come in at 9:30, or maybe I'll text you and say I forgot, I'm not ready. Right? I like to think about that. Like when you go to bed, the first thing you do tomorrow is a new you. Right? The old you went to bed. It's a new day. It's a brand new you. So how do you want to start the relationship with the new you? And I would challenge you to start it with integrity and honesty and honoring what you said you were going to do. And honestly, at times to me, it seems crazy that at this age, we still talk about alarm clocks. But there are so many people that just cannot get up on time. Or they have to go 4, 5, 6 alarms deep before they'll get out of bed. Think about it, like you literally just lied to yourself 6 times if you do that habit. And every action we take creates energy towards the next action that's coming.
So how can you ensure that you're going to wake up on fire? Can we run through a couple of those things, maybe like a little roadmap?
Plan it before you go to bed. Like know what you're going to do, right? So like for me, I know I'm going to get up, I'm going to drink water while the coffee gets made, I'm going to journal, and then in my first cup of coffee, I'm going to go outside and walk around. That just starts my day. That's time for me, right? It's time for me to clear my head, time for me to just appreciate. Like you can probably hear some of these birds in the background. When I get up in the morning and I walk around, I hear the birds, or I see the deer, or I see my neighbor. That's peacetime, right? There's no other commitments there. I'm just enjoying everything around me. So you're starting with gratitude, right? Like I'm grateful to see all this. So now when I come back in and I decide to check email, and the first email I get is something I don't really like or something that requires me to do work, my thought process has already been foundationally set in gratitude. So now I look at that problem not as necessarily something I have to do, but something I get to do. Right? I don't have to wake up early. You don't have to, Ali. You don't have to get up early and go to the gym. You get to do those things.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're blessed, because your body's fully functioning, because you have drive and spirit and goals. You get to wake up early. You get to go to the gym first thing in the morning and push your body. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So many times we think of the things that we get to do as have to do's. But now, right now, Ali, if you were just struck down, just struck you down, and you got something that requires you to sleep 24 or 23 and a half hours a day, and you can't move your limbs, literally all you're going to want is the power to get up early and walk. Right? Like literally everything else you're going to be like, okay, I don't need this much sleep. I want to be able to move my body. But how many of us wake up every day with the ability to one, get up and move, and two, go impact other people, and instead of being appreciative, be like, oh, I get to do all this today. We're like, oh, I got to get up and walk over here. I got to go over, right? What?
Yeah.
It's a blessing. Like this body of ours is a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
The ability to control our environment of when we go to sleep, when we wake up, what we do with our time. And to me, like, so much of it is just a simple switch of a phrase. Instead of I have to do this, I don't have to do a podcast. I get to do a podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't have to do exercise today. And I get to exercise today.
And then not only do you get to, but you choose to. Back to that integrity, right? You chose to set your alarm at that time. If you plan your day beforehand, you chose to do these activities. So make sure you go out and do them, because when you actually do what you choose to do, that's when you start getting everything you want out of life, because what you choose will come to you. But guess what? The universe isn't just going to give you everything you want until you're actually doing the things you choose, like waking up when your alarm goes off, like actually executing on your plan. And if you plan to go to the gym that day, you go to the gym. And it's more than I have to or I get to go to the gym, right? I'm choosing to. I want to. Why? Because it feels good. I know that I'm going to feel better, look better, do better in my life, and I'm choosing to do those things. So you want to structure your day, choose what you want to do, and then go out and do it. I like to sometimes gamify how I plan my day, right? Like think of myself as a video game character, and like, what do I want to level up in? Where do I want my experience points, right? Like, boom, my health and strength, all these things. That's why I'm going to the gym these days. Boom, my maybe in a video game it's your magic, right? You're studying things, you're learning things. I'm increasing my magical powers, my knowledge here. Okay, but here my spirituality, right? Maybe that's magic or whatever. Increasing, you're planning out your day so you can increase in this. Think of how would you plan out your day if you didn't actually have to do the work, right? Like, it's just like a video game. You just program your guy and then you gain all the experience. That do that for yourself, gamify your planning, and then choose to do it. Make sure you do it, and you're gonna love your life. You're gonna be happier. You're gonna wake up on fire more often. And guess what happens when you're on fire? You're gonna catch other people on fire. And nothing's better than being around a bunch of people who are on fire. That feels good.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. All those things you just said, not only do they benefit you, but they benefit everybody around you and everybody in a relationship with you and everybody you're going to meet that day. Because Fired Up Ali is gracious and he's asking people about their days and he's wanting to know stuff from them. He's not just going through the motions head down because he has to do some other task. He's enjoying learning from that process.
I love it.
Right?
I got a quick. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So I got a quick story about being on fire. In your energy. It kind of a stretch here, but follow me here for a second. So it's a story about this Buddhist monk, and there are these Buddhist monks and they're nomads, and they go to these different towns and they just stay in the forest and meditate in the forest. But for their practice, every time during monsoon season, they can seek shelter with a local villager or whatever. And these Buddhist monks, they all separated and they're seeking shelter, and they'll stay with these people and throughout the monsoon season. And this one Buddhist monk came across a nice home in the village, and it was the home of a prostitute. And he came back to the Buddha and asked him, because a lot of people were like, oh my God, like, this monk is going to stay with the prostitute, like, blah blah blah. And he came back to the Buddha and asked him, like, do I have, like, all these people are saying these things, like, she'll try and seduce me and blah blah blah. And I'm not sure if I should stay here at this thing. And he's like, do you think that her energy and power is more powerful than yours? And then he's like, no, of course not. And he's like, okay, well, stay with her. And then apparently people could see that she was putting on dances for him. And then the whole town's like, oh, this Buddhist monk is a goner, man. He's gone. He ain't going to be a monk anymore, man. Like, he's done. And they saw that she was serving him food and all this. Oh, man, this guy's a goner, man. And then after the month goes by, they both leave the house. And then the prostitute is also a monk. And she comes out in in her in the classical Buddhist attire, right? So the point of the story is that make sure that your energy is what's contagious, right? You're waking up on fire, you're catching other people on fire, right? So it's not the other way around, to where if you're around people, don't let other people be like, oh, case of the Mondays. Don't buy into that and be like, oh yeah, I feel it, man, fucking Monday. Da, da. Be that on fire motherfucker that's just catching everybody else on fire, because that's what we want deep down. That's what we need deep down. And it starts with you empowering others by living with your passion and purpose. Be that Buddhist monk who will convert a prostitute. At that level of energy is what I want you to do.
Amen. Amen. So she ended up being a monk as well, huh?
Yeah, man, just after a month.
So he converted her to monkhood.
And you know what? He didn't try to convert her. He just converted her from being true to himself.
I love it, man. Yeah, you are your energy, right? Like if you're not happy with things, it's a lot of times it's your energy you're putting forth, and I think a lot of it starts with literally having a good morning routine and having a good plan to make the most out of every day. And you can't get to a great lunch, you can't get to a great dinner without having a great morning. So I agree. I love that story.
All right. Well, I appreciate the conversation today, Mr. Jerrod. I'm excited for you to get more out east. We can wake up on fire together and just light up St. Pete.
Dude, I'm excited. We're about a week away from hanging out, so it'll be fun, man. I've been missing you, and yeah, dude, it's good. We're blessed to be living this life, and I'm definitely ready to get around some more people for a little bit and just have some social time.
Likewise, man. I'll see you soon.
All right, brother. Take care.
And remember, team, life is far too short to live any other way than on purpose. We will see you all again next week.